Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Tuesday, the 10th of March. Today, out in nature with the beauty of the creation, but the sound of the suburbs, and we hold the two in tension. With McShane, we're reading through the book of Job, chapter 39 today, continuing God's encounter with Job. And he asks Job, what about all the wild animals? How do you direct them? What do you know about them? And in verse 26, he says, does the hawk take flight by your wisdom and spread its wings toward the south? Does the eagle soar at your command and build its nest on high? It dwells on a cliff and stays there at night. A rocky crag is its stronghold. From there it looks for food. Its eyes detect it from afar. Its young ones feast on blood, and where the slain are, there it is. And this challenge by God to Job, saying, look at the world around you, you see it, but are you behind it? Do you know what's going on? Do you control it? And the subtext is God is controlling all of this. God's in charge of all of this. God's directing it, not us. Therefore, we defer to God. And that's God's challenge to Job. And as I read that, I thought it's something that is worth being reminded of, which is why we are in nature today, that God created everything. And we need to look at the world around us and look at nature and look at the birds and the animals and see the fingerprint of God in it. And as science studies nature, and it now begins to say, we know how birds fly. Job, they didn't. Today we understand their aerodynamics. And as we do that, we marvel even more. And it's not that we take God out of the picture, it's that we see more and more of the detail of what God's done as science discovers more and more about the world we live in. And so we look around and we listen to the birds and we see the flowers and the beauty and the order and the magnificence, and we say, this points us to God. This is the fingerprint of a God who is there. And the encouraging thing for me is we might be tempted to think God's got nature in control and that's God's domain, and we've sort of been plonked into it as outsiders. And we need to remember, no, we're part of nature. And in the same way that God watches over the birds of the air and the beasts of the field and the flowers of the earth, he's watching over us as well. And in the same way that God has made the flowers beautiful in their time and the birds and to be exactly as he wanted them, he's made us as well. We're part of that fingerprint of God in this world. And therefore, this is the God we're worshiping. This is the God we rely on. And we can say, God, in the same way that you look after the hawk on the cliff as it looks for food, look after me. As you watch over the wild ass, watch over me. God, be with me. And he is. This is the great story of Scripture. And he's holding us, protecting us, and slowly, gently leading us into his presence in eternity. What a magnificent God. What blessings we have in his name.